Welcome to what promises to be a fairly blustery escape to the country. Now, the building behind me is the most southerly lighthouse station on the British mainland. It's also the largest lighthouse station in the world. So where are we? Well,
love at first sight at one property.
It is an absolutely stunning house, it really is.
But could another home steal the show?
Sometimes on the way to a dream, you get lost and find a better one.
Well, today we're in Cornwall, and this is the Lizard Lighthouse. For centuries, it's been an important beacon for seafarers overlooking one of the busiest shipping routes in the world. Now, the first lighthouse was built here back in 1600. What you see today was put up much more recently in 1752. Its twin towers originally had 2 lights, but now they've got only one. It flashes every 3 seconds, and I'm told you can see it up to 26 nautical miles away. And on a misty day, well, its foghorn sounds like this. Now, later on, I'll be back here taking a closer look at how it all works. But in the meantime, here's
The countryside attracts over 4 million visitors a year.
Well, even on a blustery and misty day such as this, with coastline like that to inspire you, you can understand why Cornwall has long been popular, with many people wanting to escape to the country. And at £261,000, the average price of your detached property down here is pretty much on a par with the national figure. But if you want your money to go that little bit further, it's probably worth avoiding some of those coastal hotspots such as Porthleven and St Ives, and maybe look inland towards Camelford and Launceston. But whatever you fancy, there is plenty on offer down here, which of course is exactly why today's buyers think Cornwall could be their new home.
Born and bred in London, civil servants Ian and Vanessa have spent their entire working lives based in the capital. But they've decided to take early retirement and swap their hectic jobs in the big smoke for a breath of fresh air in the countryside.
The children have fled the nest, so to speak, and we're young enough to make a new life where we don't have to get up with the alarm clock.
I've been a police officer now for 30 years. That's one of the reasons why I want to get away from it all, I guess, away from all the hustle and bustle and the stress of life in London.
And it was a vacation 4 years ago that inspired Ian and Vanessa to get plans underway for a complete change of lifestyle.
We never used to be really outdoorsy people, and then Ian bought me a holiday to Cotswolds, and we went there and we just started. We did a lot of walks and we really enjoyed it, and then we decided we wanted to move to the country. We went to Cornwall and we've never looked back since.
It'd be really, really nice not have to plan too much, and we can get up one morning and say, fancy a walk today, and to live life like that would be something else, to be honest.
So with the chapters closing on their respective police and paramedic careers, the focus is now on embracing rural life, despite very limited hands-on experience.
We do quite a bit of foraging while we're out. We collect all sorts of things when we're out, don't we? And then we want to move on from there and actually raise our own produce if we can.
It's another thing I'm looking forward to, going to Cornwall, is maybe one day going out and catching our tea and bringing it home and having some really fresh fish. That would be lovely.
The dream is land for a small holding outside and a large country kitchen inside.
I think we'd like a kitchen diner. We spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Quite often we spend all evening in here having a couple of glasses of wine, talking about the day or the week.
Home is currently a 3-bed semi in North London. Buying a house together will be an entirely new experience.
This is the first time we've ever hunted for a house together, because our other 2 places that we've lived in have been in police houses, and then we were fortunate enough to buy our present house. It is quite exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a house that we can actually choose ourselves rather than say this is where you're moving.
Then adapt.
So, yeah.
So how much do they have to play with?
Our budget for this move would be $400,000. We may be able to go a little bit further than that, but $400,000 would be about right, I think.
After a holiday in Cornwall last year, Ian and Vanessa have set their hearts on a move to the south of the county, and in particular, the Lizard Peninsula. So time now for us all to meet up and find out more about the Cornish home they see themselves living in.
So, welcome to Cornwall, Ian and Vanessa. It really is going to be a massive lifestyle change from being a paramedic and a policeman to the most stressful jobs, I would imagine. And yet you're going to swap it all for the good life. What's the good life going to comprise then, Vanessa?
Probably some chickens and pigs, hopefully, and goats as well.
And what kind of a house are you dreaming about in which this new life is going to happen?
2 to 3 bedrooms, so that the family can visit.
As long as it's a good-looking house. Pretty, I like pretty, but Ian's not so keen on the old chocolate box image.
he's the roughy-tufty copper look, that's what it is.
Bit more of a farmhouse style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of outside space?
We want at least an acre.
Mm-hmm.
We think that, we'd be able to manage with that.
Yeah.
Just remind us of the budget then.
We have £400,000.
I mean, even in Cornwall, given what you're looking for, that is going to be quite tight.
Yeah, we understand that.
So we finish our tea up and get out there, see what we can find you.
Looking forward to it, yeah.
On a budget of £400,000, our buyers are looking for a handsome Cornish home in rural surroundings with 3 bedrooms and a spacious country kitchen. They're also after an acre of land to fulfil their sustainable dream of growing their own produce and keeping livestock. And we've got a fine and varied selection of homes lined up to tempt them, but I won't reveal the prices until they've each had a guess first. Then, to top it off, we've got the mystery house, which could take their idea of Cornish country living from the outside to the inside.
Now then, this business of keeping livestock, how much experience have you got of looking after
Absolutely
animals?
none.
We've got 2 cats.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Well,
Hardly livestock.
well, quite. Well, it depends on your cats, of course.
We'll learn as we go along. I can see myself knee-deep or just flat on my back in the mud after chasing a pig.
We're starting out in Ruan Minor, right in the Lizard Peninsula. It's a classic Cornish village with a real sense of community and a few handy shops. Less than a mile away on the southwest coastal path is the historic fishing harbour of Cadgwith Cove, where the daily catch has been landed since the 16th century. And just 10 minutes walk from here, we find our first property.
Right. Come and feast your eyes on property number 1. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's lovely. It really is lovely. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know, the Macintosh era and around there, arts and crafts.
Yes, you are absolutely right. This is Edwardian. It's about 1910, 1912. But I think it's got a real arts and craft feel to it.
It has an arts and craft feel.
Now, you have got, a driveway up the side here that gets you into a garage at the back. There's a little workshop as well. There's also a vegetable patch over there, which is, up and running. So, it does allow you, some scope for this sustainability. It just doesn't allow you pigs.
At this moment, I would actually sell the pigs.
Excellent. You see, I thought we'd deal with that up front. Good. Right, well, let's get inside and have a look at this lovely Edwardian property. We don't often get these on Escape to the Country. It's a real treat to see it. Right, come on, let's have a look inside.
Without hesitation, the pigs have been ditched as the period features of this unique property enchant Vanessa. And the distinctive historic character is a real highlight throughout, though it does require a bit of TLC.
Let's start in here then.
Really cosy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And you say you love arts and crafts, well, look at the detailing that we've got.
I don't know, there's just so much. You just sit and have your cup of coffee, warm your feet in front of the fire.
I would say this is, a living room. You've also got another huge room through here. Have a look at this. There.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
Very cosy, isn't
very
it?
good.
And look up. Have a look at that ceiling.
Wow.
That's arts and crafts, if ever I saw it.
Yes.
It's a real kind of Tudor feel to it, actually.
I always imagine old places being dark, but there seems to be a lot of natural light coming in here as well.
Let's have a look at the kitchen. The kitchen, to be fair, is where we're going to have to use a little bit more imagination. But
I thought it might have to.
You're up for a project, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, so this is what our project may entail. Take it all in. What do you think of it as it is?
It's quaint.
Yes. If that wall behind you were to disappear, it would lead you into what is currently the dining room. And obviously, the kind of space you'd be left with would be absolutely terrific, I think.
Yeah.
With the right permissions, this relatively minor alteration could give our buyers the kitchen living area they were hoping for. And they don't appear fazed by the challenge, so let's find out what they make of what's on offer upstairs. Alongside a family bathroom, there are 4 bedrooms in total. 2 are spacious double rooms, but we're heading for the Grand Master.
And then finally, you get your own kind of, well, suite, really. In terms of size, Ian, what do you reckon?
So I'm trying to gauge it with our one at home.
Yeah.
And it's about roughly the same, I guess.
Again, original doors, which is nice, the picture rails, and loads of light from those
Yeah.
2 windows in particular.
Yeah, that's good.
The ensuite is actually a Jack and Jill bathroom with a second door that leads back to the landing and past the smallest bedroom, which could be changed into a walk-in wardrobe to complete a really smart master suite. That wraps up the internal tour, so now to turn our attention back to the grounds. There's half an acre on offer here, with a host of mature trees and shrubs and space for the arable side of their good life goal.
Right, so there we are. There is property number 1.
It is an absolutely stunning house, it really is.
Now to the difficult bit. How much do you think, or indeed hope, this is on the market for in relation to your £400,000 budget?
Around 375?
375, yeah?
I'm going to go a little bit lower because it does need a little bit of modernisation inside, so I'm going to say about 350.
350. Are you born optimists, the pair of you?
Yeah.
I'm afraid it is neither of those figures. This is on the market at £425,000. However, having talked about it with the owners, they would accept an offer of your maximum budget of £400,000. Right then, well, I'm going to leave you here while you discuss the big compromise about space for animals, and I will catch up with you a little bit later.
Okay.
On the market for £425,000, but open to negotiation, the first property is a detached Edwardian home dating from 1910, and as such is awash with original period features. It boasts 3 reception rooms, 4 bedrooms, and a beautiful half-acre garden.
For us living in a place like this is a dream, really. But I think not having the land for the animals that we wanted would have to be a compromise, would have to be a big compromise.
When we came in the garden, I just thought this is beautiful, thinking, oh, what will it be like inside? But inside is just as gorgeous, if not more, actually. But the dilemma is, you know, is it all of our dream? I don't know.
You know, I think every house should have a veranda like this. It's just gorgeous, especially on a day like this. Ah, here we are, all done. Happy?
Yeah, we've had a good look round.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Enjoying the show so far?
Very much so, yes.
Good. Well, I think this is a great start, to be honest with you. Property number 2 awaits, and that offers you a whole new set of considerations. Come on.
Let's go.
South Cornwall's maritime position on the Gulf Stream means it benefits from one of the mildest climates in the UK. And whilst the natural spoils of the coastline make it a seafood lover's dream, the plant life inland is being harvested on a small, sustainable scale by a crop of savvy locals. Vanessa and Ian feel passionately about becoming self-sufficient and have dabbled with foraging. So with that in mind, they've come to pick up some tips with professional wild food foraging chef Caroline Davey.
You are in the perfect place in Cornwall for foraging. We've got these ancient Cornish hedges. We don't call them hedgerows in Cornwall, it's a hedge. It's made out of earth and stone. And if you have a look here, we've got hundreds of different species growing in this hedge, and a lot of them are edible.
The hedges in the Lizard Peninsula are home to a rich variety of natural culinary delights, but you should take expert advice and be careful never to eat anything if you're not absolutely certain of its exact identity.
This is a plant called Alexander's. A few hundred years ago, everyone in this country and throughout Europe grew this in their gardens.
Oh, wow.
It started to go out of fashion when celery was introduced in the 17th century. And then this is a much more pungent, aromatic kind of celery. It's full of flavour.
Whilst it's best to vary your locations to leave something for the wildlife and so the plants can rejuvenate, sometimes a small reap can be of benefit.
So over here we've got some three-cornered leek. Have you heard of three-cornered leek?
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
This is a plant that was brought over to Cornwall as a garden plant. Came from the Western Mediterranean in about 1860. And it loved it here so much that it jumped over the garden hedge and just spread like wildfire. So this is a pro-conservation wild food. Eat as much as it...
So you take as much as you want.
Take as much as you want, dig it up, and then you're helping our wildlife as well.
Free wild food can also be found by the sea too, on beaches like this one at Sennan.
This is lava seaweed, and this is what the Welsh make lava bread out of. And we use scissors for seaweed, because if you cut the seaweed, then it has a chance to grow back.
There are no known toxic seaweeds off the UK's shores, but be sure to harvest as low down the tide line as possible and choose isolated areas to reduce the risk of contamination from humans or animals.
Do these grow here then and they're not just washed up?
No, they're definitely not washed up. These seaweeds are attached to the rocks. The stuff that you find kind of rotting at the top of the beach on the strand line, don't go near that, because that's been decomposing for a while and you don't know how long it's been hanging around.
Seaweed should be picked and eaten in moderation. And back at Caroline's home, she's showing our buyers how to transform their free wild harvest into a hearty lunch. Ian washes the salt off the seaweed and Vanessa peels the Alexanders, ready for steaming.
So here we are. Lava seaweed cakes with Alexanders and wild garlic.
Lovely,
Looks fab.
thank you.
Bon appetit.
All right.
Definitely, I love them.
Really delicate, aren't they?
After a tasty foraged Cornish feast, it's back to the house hunt to see what's ripe for the picking with our second property. For our next destination, we're travelling further inland to Troon, which is around 5 miles from Cornwall's northern coast. Originally a small agricultural hamlet, the village of Troon was developed to house the workforce for the local tin and copper mines during the 19th century, and the relics of this industrial past can still be seen dotted on the landscape. And on the rural outskirts, about half a mile outside of the village, surrounded by lush open countryside, stands our next property.
Small holding is the word that you need to have in your minds with this one.
Okay.
There is quite a bit of land to go with it.
It's looking good. I quite like the look of the house and looking at the land. It looks about what we were after, to be fair. Yeah.
Well, we'll explore the land a little bit later on. I think the best thing to do is to get in there, see what you think of the property, and then we'll brave it back out here.
Okay.
Happy?
Yes, very much.
Come on then.
Standing in around 3 acres of land, this detached mid-19th century farmhouse gives Ian and Vanessa all the land they've asked for and much more. But the house itself, again, could benefit from some modernisation.
Wow. Nice warm kitchen to come into. So this is where we're going to start. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's different.
The red sink.
Yeah, it's,
Interesting.
yes, I'll have to change that, I think.
The thing you wouldn't need to change is that wood burner over there, which is brand new.
To one end of the kitchen, there's a study and the family bathroom, but we're going to check out the reception areas towards the back of the property.
This would be your, I suppose, principal living room, really. Although, of course, you've got the dining room as is currently set up next door. But whether you know, mixed and matched or had two snugs.
Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice.
Yeah.
It's a very nice, cosy room. It's got some potential.
Yeah. Well, that continues upstairs.
Okay.
Come and have a look through here.
Before we go upstairs, there's yet more reception space that runs the full depth of the property. Then upstairs, there are 4 rooms, including a bright double bedroom, a snug single, plus the one we've earmarked for Vanessa and Ian.
Come on in. So this is your master bedroom.
It's a decent size.
It is.
I mean, the room is a great size.
Yeah, it's a great size room.
You know, that's the point, really, to bear in mind. But again, you can see why, you know, this property does need a little bit of upgrading.
Yeah.
Yeah, just needs a little bit of TLC. Yeah.
But would you be prepared to do it, is the question.
Not sure.
Vanessa may not be convinced, but perhaps the final room just off the master will sway her.
Now, look at this.
Wow. Now that's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this really as something of a sort of a day room. You know, somewhere to relax and chill out. So as you can see, you know, the property itself does need a bit of thinking about. But the real reason we're here is to try and help you realise this future ambition that you have, and that means what's going on out there.
This move is all about the great outdoors, so let's not keep our buyers waiting any longer and get outside into the enormous grounds to take it all in.
Right, there's a lot to see.
There is so much on offer here to suit Ian and Vanessa's self-sufficiency plans, as well as extensive formal and secret gardens.
When it goes on, you can have a lot of fun working out what to do with this lot.
And with fields, barns, a piggery and a variety of other shelters, all the livestock they could wish for would be more than well catered for here.
And then you've got 4 paddocks.
Blimey.
Look at this lot.
All in all, this package presents a tangible slice of Ian and Vanessa's smallholding dream, and it's theirs for the taking, if of course they're still up for it.
So there you go. Just under 4 acres. And in many ways, it does set the scene for the kind of life that you were considering, but it all rather depends on the price, if this is the one for you, doesn't it?
Definitely does.
Where are we on this one? Any ideas, Ian?
I haven't really got a clue, but I'm going to say top of our budget 400,000.
400,000, yeah? Vanessa?
I haven't got a clue either. I'd like it to be, well, I'd like it to be 350, but I should imagine that it will be more to the 400.
If it were 400,000, would you go for it?
It's something we'd have to consider, really, but
Okay.
we'd have to sit down and talk about it. Yeah.
Well, let me make it a little bit easier for you. It is 50 quid short of your 400 grand at 399,950. But they are very keen to sell it, and I think they probably recognise the amount of work that he's doing here. So there's no question that a sensible offer would get a sensible answer. Well, look, let's go and have another look around together. Let's let the pieces slot into place. Come on.
Just £50 under budget at £399,950, our second property is a farmhouse dating back to 1860, set in nearly 4 acres of land. The house has great potential and comes with 4 reception rooms and 4 bedrooms. But this place is all about land and lifestyle, and could provide our buyers with an already established small holding ready to go.
The outside is great, and I think we could do loads and loads, but I'm not sure that the inside would work for us. It just doesn't do it for me at all.
There's room outside for everything we want to do and more. This place is the one, land-wise, which I dreamt of. So fortunately the house is not quite what I'd want, but can we get around that?
So that's it for today. Has it been a good one?
Yes, it's been a very good day.
Been a long one
Long one?
and a lot to take in.
Yeah, quite a lot to take in. Should we go and warm up over a pint?
That
That's a very good idea.
yeah.
It's day 2 of our property search, and we're helping London couple Ian and Vanessa to fulfil their dream of living off the land in the Cornish countryside on a budget of £400,000. Still to come, light and some enlightenment floods into the mystery house.
That is nice.
So
To
waking
sit
up to that every morning.
Oh, it'd be hard,
Yeah, I
wouldn't it?
wouldn't even have the blinds down.
And I find the source of illumination at Cornwall's most southerly tip.
I was hoping this was going to be the top. It's not, is it?
Not at all.
Well, as we head into our final day of house hunting here in Cornwall with Vanessa and with Ian, I have to confess I am beginning to have my doubts as to whether the life of a smallholder is really for them. Yesterday we gave them 2 very different options that clearly have got the wheels turning. So with our final property, the Mystery House, I think we need something that's going to try and consolidate those plans into something meaningful to try and find them their ideal future home. Has yesterday changed your view of what your plan may be for the future?
Yeah, in some ways. The first house was so nice and the area's lovely. We're now thinking, well, could the compromise be the animals? And we go for a house, either that one or something similar.
It's interesting, isn't it, how properties can influence you, and it may be that the animals have been a bit of a distraction.
That's
So-
true, yeah.
It could be.
Maybe our mystery house will help confirm in your minds what the overall aim should be.
Yeah, maybe plans have got a little bit bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
So what do you think we've got planned for our mystery property?
I'm just expecting the unexpected. Got no idea what you're going to do today.
The third and final house I want Vanessa and Ian to consider is back down south again, just outside Mullion. The largest village on the Lizard Peninsula, Mullion is just down the road from the pretty working harbour of Mullion Cove, which has been owned and maintained by the National Trust since 1945. The area is a popular tourist destination, and there's plenty here to cater for both residents and visitors, with a range of traditional inns, cafes, and even art galleries to enjoy. And tapping into the tourist trade is the key element of the Mystery House, which lies on the edge of the village in the most glorious setting, surrounded by fields and just a short stroll from the coast.
So there is our mystery house.
Looks good. Looks really good.
And in terms of location, you can hear that stream bubbling away behind us. That runs all the way down to Mullion Cove,
Oh, wow.
which is probably, I don't know, a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
It's not far at all, is it?
It's gorgeous.
Funny enough, there's something I read this morning, and it said, sometimes on the way to a dream, you get lost and find a better one.
Ah, the
like
poet comes out in here, and I love that. Good. Well, let's see if we can make this one your own dream. Come on.
Now, our mystery house offers something a bit different for Ian and Vanessa. It's a 3-storey property with the potential to boost their retirement income, but we'll come to the business side later. First, I want to show them the rooms they could call home, starting on the middle floor.
Well, let's start with this one. Come on in. Your living room.
Yeah, it's nice size, isn't it?
The proportions are great,
Yeah.
but I'd like to bring a little bit more character back.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And you can certainly do that with the
Yes.
fireplace and so on.
Yeah, and you can see they've still got the half is obviously still there somewhere.
But I think one of its real sellers is the kitchen, because
Okay.
thus far we haven't really managed to get you a kitchen diner
No.
of the sort that you have been thinking of.
Okay.
I think we've got that here. Sticking my neck out, but you never know.
Go and have a look.
We shall see.
There, is this it? Is this more what you had in mind?
Yes, much more like it.
Yeah, all like the burner there.
Yes. That's heating the entire house at the moment, just from its own ambient heat. There is no oil central heating here, so that's really doing it, and it does it really well. It's clearly a very well insulated building.
Yeah.
And a bit more character there.
Yes, much more character.
Oh, so far so good. It's
Yeah, it's very good.
Nice, yeah.
Right, let's go up.
On this floor, there's also the first of 3 bedrooms reserved for the residential part of the house that sits alongside a contemporary family bathroom. Then upstairs, a smaller second bathroom serves 2 generous-sized double bedrooms. One is a bright room with large roof lights, but we're headed for the one best suited to the master, as it features the most outstanding Cornish countryside panorama.
So this would be yours.
Oh, wow.
It couldn't be any lighter.
No.
No.
You've got this great big
Gorgeous.
dormer here. I mean, it's
Yeah.
huge. The smiles are becoming more genuine here, aren't
Yeah,
they?
very.
Yeah.
This is
It's-
extremely gorgeous.
It's funny as well, with like other places we've been to, we don't necessarily like sloping roofs. But it doesn't seem to matter here, does it?
Yeah,
well,
I like this one.
You're not struggling for head height, that's for
No.
sure.
No, but that is just a little bit nice.
So
Just
waking
it
up
is.
to that every morning,
Oh, it'd be hard,
Yeah, I
wouldn't it?
wouldn't even have the blinds down. I would wake up with natural light.
That's the home side of this mystery proposition sorted. So now to turn our attention back to the business down on the ground floor level, which is entirely given over to a self-contained apartment.
so down here, obviously the conservatory, which we saw from the garden, and then you've really got one principal bedroom, which is this one, and then it leads on through to a bathroom and kitchen area too. Now, the current owners tell me that certainly to get £500-600 a month off this long term isn't difficult,
Right.
particularly here if you wanted a long term let, just to kind of ease the pressure really,
Yeah.
financially.
It's again, it's a head spinner for me. It's
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and I can see us living here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's sort of getting your head around how it would work.
The alternative enterprise that this mystery house offers Vanessa and Ian is certainly food for thought, and although the well-tended garden doesn't have much room for husbandry, they wouldn't have to give up on their dream altogether.
There is the possibility of renting that very small paddock next door.
All right.
Okay.
And possibly, in the future, buying it. But to be perfectly honest, I'd rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be a lot cheaper than buying it. So make me an offer.
it's going to be way over budget. Yeah, 450 I think it's going to be.
450, yeah.
I was going to go a bit lower than that. 415. I'll go.
415, that's quite a bit lower. Well, it is on the market at £425,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had a conversation with the owner, and 400 would get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
That's something to think about, isn't it?
Have another look.
So, yeah.
Have another look. Go and have a good look at the annex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check that out, and I will find you somewhere later.
Okay.
Cheers.
Off you go. Pleasure. Well, how the story is changing on this house hunt. I do love it when properties really start to dictate where the future may lie, and this story is a case in point. And as for our mystery house, it's got to be a winner.
Creeping over budget at £425,000, but again open to negotiation. This detached 3-storey mystery house features a good-sized kitchen diner, 3 bedrooms, and the added bonus of extra income from a self-contained 1-bedroom flat. What's more, there's the option of renting land just next door if they decide they can't live without the animals.
Thinking about the holiday let, I actually think it would be quite nice to actually meet new people as well.
Yeah.
Because we do jobs that meet lots of people, so
Well, it sort of gives you a link with the outside world, doesn't it?
yeah.
Out of the 3 that we've seen, this one is probably my favourite, I think. Hadn't thought about holiday let. We have been throwing a bit of a curveball.
The lifestyle this house would offer me, I'd be busy in the garden, I know that much. There's a lot of garden to tend. For family and friends to visit and keep in contact with everybody, I think it is a brilliant option. We've got enough room in the house as well as we've got the annex.
Living in London and thinking about goats, pigs, chickens and whatever else comes along, when you see the reality of it, it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work.
Not so sure that the actual rural dream is actually going to be like a rural reality. Maybe the dream was too rural.
Well, the mystery house has done it again, isn't it?
Oh, certainly.
The plans, they are a-changing, methinks.
As Bob Dylan said.
As he said, yeah. Right then, I think you've got a lot to consider. More than most couples, I would say.
Yes.
Come on, I'll treat you to an ice cream.
We've shown Vanessa and Ian 3 possible houses in Cornwall for their £400,000 budget, but there are plenty of others on offer if you, like them, are seeking to relocate to the county. In Leeds town, just 5 miles from the coast, you can find smart 3-bedroom semi-detached houses like this one for an asking price of £230,000. A few miles north in Camborne, this elegant period property with a tastefully modernised interior and 4 bedrooms will set you back £315,000. Whilst further south, a few minutes' drive from Helston, this characterful 5-bedroom converted mill and miller's cottage with over an acre of landscape grounds is on the market for £575,000. Almost surrounded by the sea, Cornwall's Lizard Peninsula is the most southerly point on the British mainland and boasts over 250 plant and animal species of national and international conservational importance. During the week, I went to meet National Trust Ranger Justin Whitehouse to find out what makes this area so special.
Now, Justin, when you look at a map or indeed a naval chart at the lizard, it does feel very peculiar, very unique. Why is it here? What happened?
Well, it is unique. I mean, it is geographically, geomorphologically separate from the rest of Cornwall. And it appeared 375 million years ago when the world was a very different place. All the different supercontinents, Gondwana land, Euro-America.
So when all that was joined together?
Yeah, and between these 2 supercontinents there was an ocean called the Rheic Ocean. And right in the bottom of that ocean Part of the Earth's mantle, which is normally 10 kilometres down, protruded at the crust of the Earth.
So it moved?
It moved, yeah. And the lizard, this little lump of rock, eventually hit the bottom of what's today Great Britain.
The close-cropped grassy headlands of the lizard are one of the country's top habitats for rare plants, and here you can find species that aren't found anywhere else in Europe. And down below the headland at Kynance Cove, visitors are able to see for themselves the rocks that once erupted from the Earth's core.
So this rock we're standing on that's surrounding us here is the Serpentine, which is effectively remnants of what was the Earth's mantle.
But I suppose in many ways it's also given this coast its unique character. I mean, yes, it's very beautiful, it's very dramatic, but it's also extremely treacherous. I'm just looking over your shoulder at the surf breaking on those jagged rocks behind you.
Yeah, I mean, Lizard Point itself was this amazing obstacle for seafarers to get around.
The Lizard is dubbed the graveyard of ships, but for over 400 years the Lizard Lighthouse has been protecting mariners from the hazardous waters. And my next port of call is a tour of the lighthouse with expert Caroline Rogers.
Come on, show me around.
The top of the lighthouse stands 70 metres above the waves, up a stone spiral flight of steps to the observatory, where the reward is the most breathtaking view across the water.
Well, at last, Caroline, we've made it to the top, and this fabulous view, not just of the light, but also of the Atlantic beyond.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here.
And does it take a lot of looking after?
It takes about 3 hours to clean the lens,
I can
inside
imagine.
and out.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd start, actually. It's extraordinary. And it runs 24/7, 365 days a year.
Yeah, the lens is always going round.
And I gather there's a sort of smuggler's connection, appropriately, I suppose, in Cornwall, to
Yes.
the Lizard Lighthouse.
The lighthouse that was built before this one by a gentleman called Killigrew, he was later done for piracy, but we have tunnels underneath our engine room, and we're not too sure what they're there for, but they're all linked from him.
It's a lovely, romantic idea, isn't it, that the smugglers had a part to play in this?
Yes, it is really.
Well, now we've come this far, Caroline, is it possible to get outside and really take in those views?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Brilliant. Come on, this is a real treat. Wow. That is a proper wow.
Yeah.
You know, we get some real treats on Escape to the Country, but standing on top of this lighthouse on a day like today has to be one of the best, Caroline. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
What a view. Now, when we ask our buyers to go away and think about all that we have shown them, you never quite know how long they're going to need. But on this occasion, I think Ian and Vanessa could spend the rest of their lives coming to some sort of conclusion, but we are going to press the issue and see if they have at last reached a decision. Let's go and find them. What's happened this week? It's all changed, isn't it, I suspect?
Just a tad.
When we started out, we were all focused on this idea of the good life.
Yeah.
Chickens, vegetables, animals, and all of that. Which may have been something that sort of, I don't know, was it the tail that wagged the dog a bit on what you were aiming for?
Having seen the houses that you showed us, it has turned all the other way round, I think. So.
OK, let's just remind ourselves then. We took you to our small holding, which was property number 2.
The house didn't do it for me, but the land, and that was everything. And it was the dream. But, I don't know, it just didn't feel like I could live there. So that was difficult.
Property number 1, a lovely Edwardian number with a real touch of the arts and crafts about it that you picked up on straight away as soon as we came through the gates.
Absolutely loved it. Still do.
You still do? So is property number 1 on your list?
Oh, yes.
And is it on yours, Ian?
Yes.
OK.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is.
I can't believe you said it either.
OK, so let's just think about our final property then, our mystery house, just up the road from Mullion Cove, a really gorgeous bit of the coast.
It's a stunning house, it really is. It's beautifully kept. It's got ideal location, and, you know, obviously you had the annex, which was an added extra on that one. And we could actually rent the paddock next door, which we could have had the animals as well. But don't know, I'm still in love with number 1.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Number 3 has got everything we asked for. Number 1 hasn't, but it is absolutely lovely.
My sensible part of me thinks we should take number 3.
Yep.
But my heart says, no, number 1.
You have made us think a lot, and we've learnt a lot. As you know, we haven't brought a house together before, and we've learnt bundles.
So what happens next?
We are considering putting an offer in for number 1.
Fantastic. Well, I am absolutely delighted, guys. It's been a real pleasure having you down here in Cornwall. Let's have a little toast, shall we? With some lovely Cornish tea. Cheers. Well, sadly, our time here in Cornwall is nearly at an end. Ian and Vanessa are heading home, their heads full of new ideas and plans as to what their future now holds. But in making sense of it all, I'm reminded of something that Ian said at the Mystery House. Sometimes when you follow your dreams, you get lost, only to find a better one. And where better to let fate take a hand than here on the glorious and inspiring Cornish coast. I'll see you next time.
Ian and Vanessa did make an offer on our first property, that beautiful arts and crafts house, but unfortunately they were outbid. The good news though is that they've had an offer accepted on another house just down the road. So if you would like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, or even further afield to the continent and would like our help, then please apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.
Afraid to try again. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Things are right door. The horizon you gotta keep on believing. You gotta keep on running. You got to keep on fighting. It's time to stop the dreaming and forget about the past. About what you believe in, you are supposed to be enough. Don't forget that there is my fairies ahead. And in your heart I know that you can feel it too. We can make it through that. No matter what the people say, you're gonna find the way. Afraid to try again. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Things are right door. The horizon you gotta keep on believing. You gotta keep on running. You got to keep on fighting. It's time to stop the dreaming and forget about the past. About what you believe in, you are supposed to be enough. Don't forget that there is my fairies ahead. And in your heart I know that you can feel it too. We can make it through that. No matter what the people say, you're gonna find your way. अच्छा भैया
हमार बहुत गाना आप लोग सुनला और प्यार दुलार देला। ए जैसे हम गायक शैलेंद्र कनौजिया आप लोगन के गोड़ छू के गोड़ लगातानी और पूरा विश्वास बा कि यहो गीत के उहे प्यार दुलार दी है जौना प्यार दुलार पहलका एल्बम के दिले रहने जा।